In spite of the recent agreement between the federal government, Labour and the organized private sector to fix the new minimum wage at 70,000 naira, many states appear hesitant to commit to the new wage standard. Several states are still thinking, are we going to do this or not? But as we speak, the governors of Ondo State and Nasarawa State, that is Ayedatiwa Loki and Abdullahi Sule, have been committed, and then they've reaffirmed their commitment to say that I am going to pay the new minimum wage of 70,000 naira. That of Nasarawa State was quite surprising when he said, of course I listened to him, that he would backdate it to May, June, July, then know what to do about the August going forward. Interestingly, currently, people have started accusing state governors to also being responsible for the hardship and difficulties citizens are going through in this country. And that so would form our conversation this morning on Standpoint as we still monitor the progress of this protest. But it would be on perspectives on the fingering of state governors in the current hardship and hunger faced by Nigerians in this country. A very good morning to you and welcome to Standpoint, the saint of all talks of politics. My name is Moses Ben, Incorruptible Sam. Good morning and welcome.
Yeah, good morning to you, Moses Ben. Wednesday edition, you always be very wonderful.
Midweek.
Yes, the midweek service of the midweek service edition of Standpoint.
Mm-hmm. You said that because
yes, I did it. And today we are actually going to be ministering. Yes, we are all ministers. Yes, and we are going to be ministering. I love the fact that we are actually going to be talking more about the governors. Yeah, because we know their contributions and also how they should, help in making sure that charity we begin from home. Yes, we always talk about the president. Yes, the policies of the president will always matter. But when we have those closer to us, representing us, the way we talk about the local government area being closer to us than the state government, we obviously need to be very serious. Yeah, this morning questions to be asked and expressions will be made. And at this point, what I will advise, Imo State, they can also listen to us. So I believe if his people are listening, what our contribution here might also help them. Then the Abia State governor, who said that he will actually be one of the governors that will actually implement this one. We are yet to hear from him. Like I said this morning, it's going to be us ministering on this great topic. Not all the time that you love the topic that the pastor will preach, because you might feel
offended,
guilty. It's like pastor is talking about me today.
Yeah, you've reminded me of something then.
I go to church. I don't go to church.
Pastor is preaching me today. People say this.
Yes, now.
Anyway. Especially when the message is not in tune with your expectations.
So it seems you are going to be preaching today, and I believe our preaching will not. You see, one thing about that, if a pastor preaches a topic that touches you,
you repent.
You repent. Incorruptible Sam is my name.
Incorruptible Sam said that.
I said
I didn't. Of course, I never initiated anything. I go Bunaya. Welcome to Standpoint.
Good morning, my brother Moses Ben. Well, naturally, if a pastor preaches based on divine inspiration, and if you are pricked in your heart, you are expected to turn a new leaf. Change your ways.
Repent.
Yeah, so that is why we go to church. We go to church so that the pastor will preach well, and most cases the pastor touches those sore points where we are misbehaving.
Yeah.
So his preaching is to bring you back on track. So you are expected to come back on track and then move on again, and that's why we talk. We keep preaching here so that our leaders and those in authority will be on track, so that the society, if they do what we say, we'll have a better society.
Simple.
And, it will reduce our job. And then we can say other things. Maybe we'll just come here and be praising them.
Exactly. Yeah, so, and then give them reason to continue.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, but when you misbehave, we'll have to talk.
So there's one thing about preaching that pastors do. In summary, they say if you don't repent, you go to hellfire.
Apparently. Our sermon today is on perspectives on the fingering of state governors in the current hardship and hunger faced by Nigerians. But before we reel out our sermon, still on the issue of protest, gentlemen, Nigerian service chiefs and the Inspector General of Police have vowed to resist any move for an unlawful change of government amid the End Bad Governance protest rocking the nation. Of course, thousands of Nigerians had trooped into the streets owing to the rising cost of living days into the demonstrations. Some of the protesters in the northern region were spotted waving the Russian flag, a development that has caused concern among stakeholders. Yesterday, gentlemen, the service chiefs talked tough that they will go against anybody trying to topple this government. That's on one hand. Yesterday, somebody was killed, about 16-year-old girl was shot, but the matter is still being investigated in one of the states in the northern region of our country. This is the state service chief's position, talking about they are going against those who are trying in any way or under any guise to topple this government. Your reaction to this, Ike?
Yeah, you know, I said it. Was yesterday that I said that it appears the northern version of the protest is assuming the dimension of a conspiracy theory. Do you understand? We are protesting, you know, against end bad government.
And then we are
Why
seeing
do you have to
looting,
carry? Why do you not have to carry the flag of another country?
It's not
I mean,
even
do you even need to demonstrate with a flag? Why don't you just come with a plaque?
a placard, yeah.
A placard and then, you know, vent your anger. Why do you have to go to that extent? So for me, that's why I am beginning to believe that there's a conspiracy theory in all of this. Remember also that it was the same knot that they saw, you know, this detachment of soldiers driving past and they were shouting, we want military, we want military. We want military rule and all of that. So it's not funny. You know, it's not... and then, of course, you see the level of looting. We saw a lady who was trending online, a lady that also went to demonstrate. Before she could come back, they had looted her house, packed everything.
Look at what happened in Kaduna.
Yes. They had looted the lady's house, emptied the entire house. She went for a demonstration. And then they ended up demonstrating in her house. I mean, why? Well, it tells us the level of the deep-seated hunger in the north. It tells you that over the years, you know, our northern brothers have been playing this lifestyle of, you know, if you have money, you're a god. Others will begin to worship you. That's not what it's supposed to be. You understand? If you don't have resources, then those who have resources becomes God. You now dictate. And then it tells you also the extent, the level of people they have on the streets. They have so much, you know, layabouts on the streets. And this has formed opportunity for them to, you know, display what they have. Somebody who is in the street, what good would the person amount to? Other than to, you know, destroy things, steal things. The way they climb, in fact, they were just like bees. They climbed the APC building, and in less than 5 minutes, that is Jesus Christ. You needed to see what was going on there. So, I mean, there is no demonstration. They veered off. They started looting, doing things that they were not supposed to do. So it tells us the level, and for government officials or for the people, the powers that be, let them know that, look, this thing is not a joke. There is so much hunger in the land. And then they have so much people on the streets that are busy doing nothing. And then this formed an opportunity for them to vent their anger on the society. And so the earlier our northern brothers come to terms and say, look, let's do something about so many people on the street. It's not like maybe to an extent here in the south, so many people want to work hard. Even if you don't have resources, go and do what they call Zimbabwe. Wherever they are building houses, you go and there
apart from that, nobody is shying away that the reality is facing everybody.
Absolutely.
Nobody is shying away, even
Yes.
from the south here, southeast. Nobody is saying no, it's not happening.
that is the truth. That is truth. But, you know, they took their own to an all new level, a very different, dangerous dimension that shouldn't be. So that's why I said, look, it appears as if some people over there, you know, use this as an opportunity to instigate some people. You know, it became more like a conspiracy theory. Let's see how we can destabilize this government, which for me is not proper, it's not necessary.
All right. Sam, in this situation, one would not expect our security chiefs should fold their arms and just remain that way, because they have the responsibility to ensure peace and security in the society, despite the fact that people are coming up to say you guys are not talking, you don't think that you can talk because of the current situation, what is happening. But I don't see any reason for that to be justified, that security chiefs shouldn't come out to a kind of control the situation at this point.
Definitely, what they're doing is actually their job. But I wish they would always do this when we have killings and security issues in Nigeria. That's one thing, they don't turn up on time, and that's the problem we're having. That's just the bitter truth. Waving of the flag. Now you say no, you guys cannot fold your hands to watch any group at all, anyone topple this government. Now you want to protect the government. Yes, we condemn it, because I said it yesterday morning. I said it also during the Igbo newspaper. I am not a fan of that. We have nothing to do with Russia in this case. What are we fighting for? What are we even protesting? What are we talking about? That there is hunger here. So waving the flag is the flag of another country.
Signal the government of that country to come to their aid.
It's very unnecessary. We don't need that. If you don't want to remain in Nigeria, yes, I think you can jump to Russia if you think you love Russia so much. I think growing up also, if you ask me the country I will always want to be, I don't know why, I will mention Russia. But if you think you want to go there, go there. But being here in Nigeria and you're waving the Russian flag, for what to happen? It's not even something that we need to even
perhaps
give a
to
room
attract
for
help.
Go there. The Russians shouldn't come here. The Russian government to come here and help us on what? Sharing us food. What are they coming to do? What are they coming to do? Are we fighting? Even if we are fighting, must we even invite foreign this thing to help us out? One senator saw it at some point. I said, no, we have enough in Nigeria if we just allow them to work and not compromise. We are not fighting. So that is, for me, unnecessary. Now the service chiefs, they are now so fast in coming together to talk about this, to condemn it, to fight against it. Fine. I wish they will always wake up or be fast. In fact, even be proactive. You don't even wait. You don't need to wait for anything to happen for you to react. Here, as far as insecurity in Nigeria is concerned, it's a nice one that they have done as far as this situation is concerned. But going forward, will they turn up this way to condemn and fight? We are still facing the kidnapping issues, if not because of this protest. Who knows? We must have recorded or even talked about another kidnapping issues. At the end of the day, we don't hear them anything. The governor of the particular state will say they are on top of the situation, and that will be it. But we have security chiefs that should put their hands together to track these guys, get them out of the whole thing. In as much as, well, at the end of the day, you still say, we have cabals. In oil sector, we have cabals. Drug, we have cabals. Even those also making sure that security will not be in Nigeria, they are also cabals. At the end of the day, nobody mentions any name. We only mention the word cabal. So that is it. And just like Ike said, see, the northern side, to be frank, they've actually been floating for so many years. They have been floating. Now, the way education is in that place, is low. Very, very low. That's also a sign that it might get to the point, something that ordinarily somebody will use his sense to argue about.
All right.
That person might not be interested in that. Look at what is happening now. They are busy looting. They don't even care whether you're a fellow protester. They don't even know the one that belongs to individual and the one that belongs to the government. They say, okay, out of anger now, we are going to get this thing. After all, it belongs to us, and they are packing it here. I don't know whether they are looting grains, whether they know where the governors packed whatever that belongs to them. They are not touching that. They are busy, looting things that belongs to their people. Now you go there, you will see people on the street. I was in Kaduna 2010. They line up here. They are with their plates. They are begging. No. How many do you see here in this part? So there is that thing. Now, when they give them, when their politicians want to empower them, what type of empowerment do we see?
It's food, no?
They give them food. Then they give them this for those that men shoe. You will see them. That's how they empower them. That means these guys, don't worry, we have the yam and the knife now. We'll be cutting it to them. So it might get to the point one day that all of them will be like, no, we are tired of this peanut that you guys are giving us. And that's exactly what is happening. And I love the fact, once again, that the Igbos decided not to be part of this thing.
And so it doesn't mean that we are not going through the similar thing.
In fact, we are hungry and angry. That's if out of anger that we even do this one. Okay, let's fold our hands. Just like when you have talked and nothing is happening, it's okay. I don't want to talk again. Let's sit and watch. That's exactly what is happening. Now, for the politician that we think we are doing ethnic war, now they know that this is not about ethnicity. This is about your people expressing themselves in their states and not in another state. So it is very clear. But the Russian flag, no. And in fact, I don't even care any flag at all. I don't even Benin Republic flag, Niger flag. I don't do that. That's not what we are talking about. Well, but hunger is dealing with people here in Nigeria.
Exactly. What has happened in the couple of days behind really shows that a lot needs to be given attention to. Look at the category of persons who are even involved in this northern protest. They are pushing from the northern angle of it. They are children.
Yes, children.
Attention has to be given to this. How many of our children are on the street that you don't find them in the good schools and all of that? These are things we also give attention to.
There are many.
But we are being joined this morning to still address this current issue in Nigeria by a public affairs analyst, Jide Ojo. Jide, very good morning to you and welcome to Standpoint.
Good morning, Ben. It's my pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much. Of course, the issue of protest between the first day of August and now. You saw what happened yesterday in the northern region of our dear country. Let us have in summary what you think has really happened, and then also bring in the president's appeal or address to the nation on Sunday, that was the 4th of August 2024.
Okay. Appreciation for the opportunity to speak on your platform this morning. The good people of Abia State today and the entire Indibo. I salute you now for maintaining peace all over the south, southeast, southwest. It shows about we have two countries in one. The masterminds of this protest are from the southern Nigeria, and they were quite objective in what they wanted, which is to end bad governance and to call for the reduction in hunger and deprivation. But you see, I was cagey and very skeptical when this planned protest was gaining traction. I knew we are in for a long haul. I have participated in several protests in time past, spanning over 30 years. As I said in my column in The Punch today, I recounted, I was involved even in the march, apart from Campus Aluta, I was also involved in the protest against the annulment of June 12, 1993 election. The issue with protest is that while it is not illegal, it is constitutionally barred, it is supported by international covenants and conventions and protocols. We have to be very careful about how protests are planned and executed. Don't forget, we have had the culture of protest in Nigeria. At least in my history and civic class, I learned about the Aba Women's Riot of 1929. If you calculate 1929 to date, it's a very long time. It's over 80 years that we have had protests in Abeokuta that even led to the dethronement of the Alake of Egbaland, the one that was spearheaded by the mother of Fela Nikolako Kuti, Fumilayo Ransom Kuti. That protest against taxation led to the dethronement of the Alake of Egbaland then. And then several other protests in recent past. We had the Occupy Nigeria protest of 2012, we had the NSAS protest of 2020. And then even this year, we have had protests by the labor unions. But you see, in an environment where there is high level of poverty, deprivation, and misery, you can hardly have peaceful protest. Because while the intent of the organizers may be to draw attention to certain malaise or bad policies and programs of government, there are those who are waiting in the wings to cash in on this, to foment trouble, and to also cause mayhem. And the irony, Ben, is that these opportunists, the miscreants, the hoodlums who cash in on peaceful protest, do not even have access to those who are the cause of their misery or their hunger. They end up attacking innocent citizens who are suffering like them. When you go and loot supermarkets or even local markets, do you know that people in those markets are also owing? Many of them collect money from microfinance or cooperatives to set up that small business. Then you go, because there is a protest somewhere, you now go and unleash mayhem and loot those goods. That means you are even adding to the misery of those who you have gone to attack. Because those who are engaged in mega corruption or grand corruption, you won't have access to them. You won't have access to their offices or to their residences. So I saw what happened in this Abuja. Even in my hood, some miscreants decided to set up. They blocked the expressway and were collecting tolls from motorists. If you fail to give them money, they were bagging, breaking people's windscreens and side mirrors, all because they are also cashing in. And the worst was what happened in northern Nigeria, from Niger to Kano, Kaduna, to Yobe, to Borno, to Jigawa. And I've granted several media interviews around it. It shows that the agenda those who joined the protest from northern Nigeria has is quite different from those of the southern Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Who are more organized, more refined, who confine themselves. You know, Lagos was the hotbed of EndSARS protest of 2020. But this time around, the government of Lagos State was able to make sure that the protests did not spread. They were confined to Ganifa Freedom Park. Likewise, in many other states, except for what we're hearing now, that the Port Harcourt protest was turning violent as at yesterday. But largely, the violence has been in northern Nigeria. And then you start hearing kids of 14 years and below carrying Russian flag and demanding for a change of government. It then means that their own agenda was not even to have better government or to end hunger. It's just for them to do the wish of whoever was their sponsors. And that means there is a political interest afloat, more or less saying, if I cannot get it, nobody should get it. Let the military come.
All right.
And you may let me land on this, please, because I may forget.
All right.
You may think it does not matter. You may take them on serious. That was how it started in Sudan last year. Last 2-3 years. When they said Omar al-Bashir has stayed too long in power, they pushed him out through civil unrest. People protested. Eventually, the military came and dislodged, arrest Omar al-Bashir. Now, By the time Omar al-Bashir was pushed aside, the military took over. They said there will be return to civil rule, but there was never a return to civil rule. Rather, since April 2023, Sudan has been at full-blown war between the armed forces of Sudan and the other counterpart, what is the RFS. Now, what I'm trying to draw attention to is that sometimes when protests started small like this and you don't nip it in the bud, you have Sudan, you may have Sudan on your hand, you may have Burkina Faso on your hand, you may have Mali situation on your hand. And for those of us who lived through the military era, we know that military is never a better alternative to the democracy, no matter what. I was born during the 60s, in the 60s, when the military, after the military took over in 1966. And I grew up, I knew the state of fear and tension. In a military setup, you won't even have opportunity to protest peacefully because they will have suspended the constitution, they will have shut down the assemblies, the courts will have extra jurisdiction, that means areas you cannot even entertain cases on.
Right.
And there will be huge human rights abuses. So people need to be very careful what they're asking for.
All right, Jide, very quickly, before we let off the conversation on this line now, this is 7th of August. Today is 7th of August, 2024. The president appealed to the protesters, demonstrators on Sunday, that was 4th of August, 2024. Do you think that the message has been sent? Has the president also received the message? What possibly do you think should be in place also to addressing this particular issue at this point in time in Nigeria?
So if you have had the opportunity of reading my article in the Punch of today, I actually analyzed the president's speech, and I said Nigerians, particularly the media and civil society, should constitute technical committees, either separately or jointly, and fact check the president, because since in the last 14 months of Tinubu administration, I've never seen him coming up with the kind of statistics that he rolled out on Sunday morning. He gave statistics about our income. He gave statistics about number of people who have been employed under different schemes, those who have benefited or those who are going to benefit under the student loan scheme, the consumer credit, how much has been earmarked for that, the housing projects he intends to do, the agriculture where he said he wants to cultivate 10 million hectares of land, which will be donated by governors and the federal government will provide the incentives. Talked about what the Ministry of Digital Economy and Communication is doing with the ICT hubs, providing skills for 3 million Nigerian youths, to give them ICT skills. We're one of those centers for the South, the Center for the Northwest is the one that was vandalized on the first day of protest in Kano. And several other figures were reeled out. He talked about 600,000 nano business owners that have received support, an additional 400,000 that are penciled down to be given support. He talked about 1 million loan being given to micro, small, and medium enterprises. 75,000 of them are supposed to are said to be better. And he said 240,000 jobs have been created along that route.
Because of our time, we don't want to dig deep, talking about the jobs that have been created within 14 months because of our time, but we'll find a suitable time for that particular issue, sir. What do you think?
What do I think about what?
To look for another time so that we discuss the areas of job creation under this administration in details, cut across the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria at the moment under President Tinubu.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying he has built out his own statistics.
Okay.
We independently, as media organization under different platforms, fact-check these claims, whether he's telling us the truth. I mean, I follow the American campaigns. when there is a debate, media will come out and say, oh, this Donald Trump spoke 11 lies in one night about what he's saying. So people are fact-checking. This is the era of using digital tools to now fact-check, or even constituting technical committee to do an on-the-spot assessment. If you have said that so number of people have benefited from microcredit support, can we see the database? Can we see how many per state who were beneficiaries?
All right, Jide,
so
because of our time,
we need to do at this point. Yes.
Okay. Fundamentally, in just a few 50 seconds, what do you think should be the practical or pragmatic steps to be taken by this government to address this issue at this point?
Now, we have to hold the subnationals to account. The president in his speech said 570 billion has been given to states. Can we have the breakdown? How much did Abia get? How has it been spent? Or how does the Abia government want to spend that money? Likewise for every state. So if we focus on the federal, we are going to miss the point. There are 3 tiers of government. Now, from this month, they have said that money meant for local government will start going directly to them. Can we know how much each of the local government area chairmen are receiving?
All right.
How much governors are getting? How did they spend it? I'm not saying we should not hold the federal government to account, but yes, while we do that, let's also do for those governments that are closer to us in our respective states. Let the NUJ, the civil society organizations, let them also try and liaise and get facts and figures, whether through media chats with the governor. Let's hear him or whoever is in charge tell us how much they have spent of these sums that they are giving 10 billion naira from what the president said, not on Sunday, but previously, that if they to receive 10 billion naira to provide CNG buses. I don't know whether you read about that. So how have they procured it? Is this in the process of procurement? The so-called grains, 42,000 metric tons of grains that have been released to state for sharing. How has the respective state governments received? How many of them have received their own? What have they? Who have been the beneficiary? Can we have list of the beneficiaries? So these are kind of holding state and local government to account, while we are also focusing on the federal.
All right.
Because federal is farther from many people. I'm only lucky to live in Abuja and work in Abuja. But for many of us who are from the hinterland, Abuja is rather far. But we can look at how to hold our subnationals to account through different platforms. And that's what I would say we need to do. But we need to be wary of fifth columnists who are calling for regime change. Military will never be a better alternative for any civil administration.
All right. As public affairs analyst Jide Ojo, thank you so much for your time on Standpoint this morning.
My pleasure.
All right, gentlemen, you just listened to Jide Ojo, who nailed it at the point that subnational government, which of course is our topic this morning on this issue. Sam, you were taking. You reposition yourself in your seat when he said something
about I was digesting it. I was digesting it, and that's just the truth of the whole thing. You know, if the president, if the federal government has actually given this amount of money and things they said they have given out, that means we have these things, or we should have them in our states. If these governors haven't gotten all these things, I want to also believe that they should have come out to speak. I think, I don't know if it was a headline I said that some state governors said, see.
All right, I'll get your thoughts, Sam, on this particular issue. But we are being joined at this point also on Standpoint by Chief Oke Eziala, State Publicity Secretary of APC in Abia State. Good morning, sir, and welcome to Standpoint.
Well, good morning, Rapid FM. Good morning, Abians.
Thank you.
Once again, congratulations to you on another feather you've just attracted to your cap. Well done, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, we are focusing on State governors have been fingered at this point in time in this country to be one of the structures or stakeholders responsible for the hunger and hardship Nigerians are facing or going through at the moment. Just last week also, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said that the federal government has given about 570 billion naira to the 36 states of the federation. FARC has increased. Do you agree with this assertion? What's your impression in line with what is happening, talking about the end bad governance in Nigeria?
You see, my brother, we cannot be talking about development of a country without a closer look at the governance structure being run by the given state or the economy. What is the governance structure in Nigeria? And that is a federal system of government. And in a federal system of government, you have to look at the indices, and which has to do with power sharing between federal states majorly, and then of course the provincial local government, which is supposed to be a government at the grassroots. In Nigeria's scenario, the power and the resources of Nigeria is shared between the federal and state government. I repeat, because it's important for our listeners to know that whenever we talk about hunger, we talk about poverty, we talk about perhaps a low standard of living, it is not a one-way traffic. You have to also juxtapose it with the system of government being run. In Nigeria, every money that is meant for any human being in Abia State is in the hands of the governor. That of the Imo is in the hands of Imo State governor. That of Akwa Ibom, that of Lagos. That is the meaning of federal system of government. People must understand that. Okay? The federal government is only responsible for macro policy formulations and implementation. I repeat, macro, emphasis on that word, macro, not micro. Okay? So, what are the macro policies? Import and export, the military, the internal security, external aggression, prevention, and what have you, foreign affairs, yes, and few of them. Okay? But the fulcrum of the economic situation is being managed by the state governors. This explains why the monies come to the state governors. So, if there is no agro products, if there is no enough food to feed people in a state, you hold the governor responsible. So, if there is no good roads in the hinterlands, in the remote villages within the state capital or the adjoining cities, you hold the state governor responsible. If there is no enough electricity, pipe-borne water, you hold the state governor responsible. I wish we would have a population that understands this system, how it works. It is not enough to be calling Western world or go to America. In those countries, you are mentioning the governors. The heads of the provinces are in charge. Let me even shock you. In some of these Western states, you have state police and state infrastructures, apparatus. The people who hold the person, the immediate man in charge and responsible for their welfare, accountable. They only go to the exclusive list of the federal government to hold the federal government accountable. Is that the case in Nigeria? The answer is no. So to answer your question directly, the monthly allocations of state governors have tripled. Now hear this. There is no state governor that receives less than 15 billion naira.
When you say less than 15 billion naira, is it on a monthly basis?
On monthly basis, only from President Tinubu. I'm not talking about the generated revenue in the state. I'm not talking about other accessory and accompanying revenues by the state. I'm not talking about the investments of the state outside Abia, okay, which is different from the internally generated revenue. I'm not talking about aid and loans from donor agencies. So if you have a state government that sees around 40 to 50 billion naira monthly, my brother, why should they send person in Abia? Why should they send person in Imo or any of those states
be hungry,
to be crying for hunger?
All right.
It is not understandable.
All right.
So that is the answer. The state governors, let me tell you the truth. The state governors have been holding this country to ransom since 99. I'm not exonerating any past governor now. Since 99, they formed what I call a court group, a political court group called State Governors Forums. It's called Nigerian Governors Forum. I think that's the right name.
Yeah.
These people, they decide what happens to you and I.
Okay.
Even the issue of subsidy, even the issue of petroleum product, everything, they take a decision and force it on the president. Can I shock you? No president have been able to twist state governors.
That's true.
It has been the state governors twisting presidents from history. You know why? Because the most presidents know that they do not have electoral value. So they will depend on the state governors to deliver them in their second tenure. Hence, the remote control from state governors. Because they know it is these governors that decide their victory in the next election. And don't forget, a typical black man is always after the next election.
Yeah.
And not generation.
Yeah, Chief Oke,
that is the problem.
Yeah, you just summarized it, and I think this time will not be enough for us. We really need to elaborate on this. But yeah, good morning. My name is Incorruptible Sam. Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Yes, Incorruptible Sam is my name. You just talked about the state governors that is not about now, since 1990 something, and I want to totally agree with you on that. You know, we also know that our constitution is very, very, is somehow, because it makes it look as if the politicians benefit more than the people they are leading. I don't know. Can you point at why you think these governors are powerful? Because yes, if I want to describe the governors, I would say they are too powerful. In fact, they are too powerful. What do you think has made them this powerful that even the president somehow is even afraid of them when they gather?
You see, one, I must say this. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria was never intended to give power to the public, to the masses. I repeat, for emphasis, the operating constitution in Nigeria has no intention, or the framers of the constitution never intended to give the sovereignty to the people. So ab initio, go and check the constitution. They make sure that every constitutional provision revolves around the power that be. That is why in the constitution, you have the president appointing the national chairman of as sensitive as INEC chairman is.
Exactly.
Somebody who decides the fate of 200 million Nigerians. Then the person that will appoint the person will now be one person, who is the president. So what does that tell you? It means whoever that framed that constitution never wanted the people to have a say in their own country in the first place. That is one. But, okay, I'm sure somebody may be wanting to ask who should have appointed it. Of course, in Senate climb, in civilized countries, such person shouldn't be appointed by one politician. The person should ordinarily be appointed by an independent body who do not participate in election. Who is that person? The judiciary. The person should have been appointed by 2/3 majority of the Federal High Court judges. They will meet, take a decision, and their decision is not even final. The decision will be ratified by 2/3 majority of the judges in the Supreme Court. That is the normal thing, because the judiciary does not take part in election. They don't campaign, they don't. So how can you, ab initio, be allowing a politician to be appointing somebody who will declare him winner?
All right, Chief Ezeala, you continue with your point.
Question
yes.
Straight, why governors are strong? They are strong because the system, the framework, the legal framework upon which Nigeria as a state is starting is very, very, is prejudiced from day one. Are you getting it? It's compromised from day one. So the whole thing we are doing, just like the late Awolowo will say, we are just operating a mere geographical expression where people come and do what they like and go. That is why they made it very difficult for anybody to amend the constitution, because from day one, their intention is never to give power to the people. That is why governors are strong.
All right, Chief Oke Ezeala Ebube Mba-Uzuakoli, of course, the State Policy Secretary of APC, Abia State. Thank you so much for your
Thank you
point
very much.
on Standpoint. We appreciate 091 965 or 091 965. A very good morning to you and thank you for joining Standpoint.
Good morning.
Your name and location, please.
Who's saying there's a name I'm calling from Omai? Good
Welcome.
morning to your friends in the house.
Welcome.
Is okay Ezala still on line?
Yeah, he's online. Go ahead, please.
Okay, good morning, sir.
Just go ahead. He's listening to you.
Who's the name I'm calling from Omai? I want to thank Gideon Joe for his wonderful analysis and Ezala. When we talk about the government and government, democracy should be as in attributed to the poorest of the poor. It's just about the people and for the poor, and everything about democracy should be as in surrounded the people, mostly the poorest of the poor. But unfortunately, we are not seeing it today. The president rushed and removed fuel subsidy, which he added the money to governors. I keep repeating myself, but these governors and senators and federal house members, even state house members, are we experiencing it? The money that never 570 billion was given to governors to be raised his office, which I am not in support. Yet, our government came up and told NLC at their state that they have not received anything, any palliative from financial palliative from the presidency. The president made this thing known to us on Sunday.
All right.
So, what are they using the money to do? Promise you, not suddenly announcing.
All right, Osema, no, you have used your time.
The governor should be held responsible. He should try as much as possible to ameliorate the hunger in the land by giving us three dividends of democracy. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you. Keep it within 1 minute. 091 965. Good morning and welcome to Standpoint.
Good morning, Mr. Ben.
Your name and location, sir.
Mr. Chijoke from Ben Road. I want to say that no matter how we want to see it, no matter how we want to understand it, Mr. President is still the one to blame. Because you cannot tell me that you are a president of Nigeria and you made a comment that makes everything to turn around for bad against Nigerians. And somebody would consider to tell me that you gave, if you want to give all the governors, give them 10 trillion. It's not what we are talking about. Can a governor control our Nigeria economy? Can a governor reduce the price of fuel in Nigeria? Is it possible? Even to control security agents like police, civil defense, DSS, does any governor have right to control any of them? So if you want to give all the governors any amount, give them. But it's not what we are talking about.
All right.
All I know is that we have senators, House of Rep members. They have their own to do. Some of the governors, they have every opportunity to solve any problem.
All right, Chijoke, you've used your time.
Talking about what the comment that makes Nigeria to suffer.
All right.
Is that first subsidy gone? Let Mr. President fix the economy of Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much. You have used your time already.
Thank you.
We appreciate your contribution. A very good morning to you and welcome. Hello, good morning.
That shows accordingly our constitution was deceitfully. Nevertheless, that is the case. That's your guest. God bless you this morning. I can
Welcome.
Let me just say, I want to dance into that side of let me just talk about the issue of chief of staff. Those are the people talk tough. And that talking tough now is what we are trying to see how they will now, finalize it, how they're going to summarize it, how they're going to hit it to the left. Now, people that have been killed before now, people that have been, jeopardized with their success or with their progress in Nigeria, have they been talking tough? I'm talking about this security, the good law. This non-government that have been killing them, have they been talking tough to them? So what are we trying to say?
All right.
We're not even advocating for anyone to flag up any country, flag in this country. But what we are saying, if they can use that muscle, that's the spirit, that's ginger, to say we are talking tough against those
Dr. Sika, you've used your time already.
Please, Nigeria is for us. If really the leaders want to do this, if not so, Nigeria may escalate to another thing. They may not even believe. Thank you, have a nice.
Thank you, we appreciate. On our Facebook page, we have Elvis Uweze saying that good morning, distinguished and reputable gentlemen in the studio. I believe well-meaning and patriotic Nigerians totally condemn the ideas of those looting, trying to topple the government and flying of Russia flag during the protest in the northern parts of the country. We say no to violence and breakdown of law and order. Lastly, Governor Alex Oti should join other governors who have promised to pay workers the approved minimum wage of 70,000 naira for equity and justice to prevail. That's how we want to wrap up today's edition of Standpoint. Incorruptible Sam, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Ike Ogbonnaya, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
We'll do this again tomorrow. We spoke earlier with Jide Ojo and Oke Eziala. That's our show. My name is Moses Ben. Good morning.
Beauty is power. A smile is its sword. Beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. Beauty is all around us. So, if you want to look good always, visit Masters and Wands Cosmetics stores. It's new, it's exclusive, and a happening store in beauty products. We deal on perfumes and cosmetics such as body lotions, facial creams and scrubs, body sprays, powders, bath wash, and all kinds of quality cosmetics with affordable prices. Contact us at number 41 Fimbers Road, Umuahia, or number 28 School Road, Umuahia, all in Abia State. Call us on 0806